parked. I'm parked. I'm parked on a street somewhere in Liverpool. I'm in my car right now.
Dude, I love it. And that light, you look very religious. You're like,
Yeah.
oh. By the way, we are recording right now, so everybody, thank you for tuning in to Pink Sock Podcast.
Couldn't you just wait till Christmas time? Like, come on, man.
he looks
like I'm not religious. I can tell you that.
is that your halo? Is that what that?
Yeah, that's what we'll go with. We'll say it's my my halo above my head because I'm an angel.
Don't mind the horns. That just holds it up, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So you taught yourself how to play guitar, right? When you was a teenager?
Yeah, that's right. I'm no Jimi Hendrix, but I taught myself to the degree that I can play. Music's always been my passion, and I played on and off for years. But it wasn't until last year that I started writing my own music and performing in front of audiences and whatnot. So it kind of, you could say I sort of started late, but yeah, I plan on, just seeing how far I can go from this point, really.
Bro, it ain't nothing. There's no such thing as starting late. It's better starting late than not starting at all.
Yeah, I totally agree. Never.
Because there's a lot of people that started later in life. Like Rodney Dangerfield was freaking in his 50s when he started acting, so...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think more and more these days, age isn't such a factor anyway. And I mean, I don't think it should be, but yeah, I think in the world as it is now, people are more accommodating of older wannabe rock and rollers like myself.
Well, there's a lot of rockers that started younger and didn't make it until they were older.
Yeah, so, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just never know what could happen. But yeah, in my case, I just really enjoy it. So whatever happens, really, I've already sort of exceeded my own expectations for my own music. So yeah, it's kind of just a lifestyle and a passion more than anything.
Yeah, well, the thing is, though, you got yourself on stage finally, so that's all it takes. Because I don't know if you're anything like me. I have real bad anxiety, so I've always wanted to do stand-up comedy, but getting on the stage is the hardest part, getting yourself there. Once you're there.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I really admire comedians because, yeah, you're really putting yourself out there doing that kind of thing. I mean, trying to make people laugh. Yeah, that's definitely a skill that I've not mastered. But yeah, I think I agree that the hardest thing is actually getting up there in the first place. And I know a little bit about anxiety as well. I used to sort of struggle a bit with that when I was younger. But actually, music has helped me to deal with that as well. Music has a lot of healing qualities, I find, and it's really helped me develop just as a person, just through playing in front of the people. And over the last sort of 18 months, I've certainly kind of came out of my shell, so to speak, as a person for having started to play in front of live audiences and whatnot.
That's awesome, dude, because a lot of people during the pandemic didn't really do much, but you taught yourself how to sing and play guitar, so at the same time.
Yeah, I last sort of like I say, around a year, maybe 18 months ago, somewhere in that time, I never sang before, and I finally tried karaoke one night. One of my friends sort of forced me to do it. I did secretly want to do it, but I kind of, I was sort of nervous about it. So he sort of strong-armed me into doing it. And I finally did it, and people were like, that was pretty good. So I did a few more songs. And then, like a lot of people, I found myself in lockdown. And I thought, right, I've got nothing but time on my hands here and no excuse. So I finally sort of started teaching myself to play and sing at the same time. And I started off doing covers, and I didn't really plan on doing my own music. it kind of happened by accident. And I have a friend of mine to thank for that. I'll give him a little shout out. He's called Josh. And basically, I used to live opposite him. And there was one time where I came off a night shift. And he'll forgive me for saying this. He was kind of talking my head off. But it was the wrong time to be talking to me, sort of thing. And it kind of put me in a little bit of a angsty kind of mood. I didn't display that to him, but I ended up going away and writing a song called Word to the Wise, which was my first single, as it were. I released that earlier this year. I think it was around March time. But I came up with that song sort of last summer in lockdown. So, yeah, lockdown and friends, talking to friends can both be really helpful things, it turns out.
You talked my head off. I'll write a song about you.
Yeah. I think he was a little bit sort of annoyed that I think he was a little bit offended that I attributed that song to him. But if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have wrote that song, and I wouldn't have went on to write any more. So yeah, I'm really grateful. Although at the time I kind of just wanted to sleep.
Don't we all?
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely need my my 8 hours. I'm one of those kinds of people. I'm not a morning person.
I'm usually not a morning person myself, honestly.
I'm not sure if
but
lost connection.
You froze a little bit, but I heard what you said. Can you still hear me, buddy? All right, I think we're good. But I need at least my 5 hours. I'm not a morning person at all.
I'll wait it out, see if the connection improves.
Can you hear me, buddy?
Sorry, I lost you for a few seconds.
All right, I thought we were on that Verizon ad. Can you hear me now? Good. But yeah, I need my 5 hours. I need my beauty sleep at night. I don't necessarily need. I'm either one of two. I either get 5 hours or I get 12. There's no in between.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like I heard about this theory that some people only need 2 hours sleep or something. There are some people out there. So yeah, if I could tap into whatever it is that they're doing, I could be a really productive human being and musician if I could work out what it was they were doing. But yeah, I'm not one of those characters.
They're doing a lot of cocaine. That's
a lot of that in caffeine,
that might,
probably.
Yeah, that might be the secret. I'll just put my halo back on.
There you go. So you're going to be touring with Jimmy Maddon, who was also on the show. How'd you guys meet? Because your music is rather different than his.
Yeah, that's right. It's really different, but I think it's kind of a good combination. But Jimmy reached out to people on a music Facebook group, and he was just wondering if anybody sort of wanted to go touring and get on the road together. And that resonated with me. We were in sort of a similar place, and we both wanted to just get out there and do it. And he'd spoken to a lot of people who were kind of sort of said that they were up for it, but didn't ultimately do it. And I think he just got the sense with me that I was, genuinely up for it. And that's why I'm in Liverpool at the moment, because we were playing in Liverpool Sorry, I tell a lie. I'm losing track of my days and my cities. We were in Manchester last night. We're in Liverpool now. We're going to do a few numbers tonight. And then tomorrow, Jimmy will be back in Sheffield and I'll be back in Lincoln, where I live. And I'm playing a gig in Lincoln tomorrow as well. So, but yeah, that's how we met. Jimmy reached out to people on Facebook, and we got talking, and it kind of went from there. But yeah, like you say, our music is completely different. But interestingly, we do have some common ground. There's a few kind of indie bands that we like, and we're talking about doing some indie stuff. And also, Jimmy was playing this riff today in the hotel room, and I just started jamming along with him, and I started getting some lyrics. So we'll see where that goes. So yeah, we're probably going to end up songwriting together as well, and doing a bit of a kind of a side project as well to our own music.
That's very interesting because like Jimmy Maddon's more of the like, I don't like comparing bands, but for those that haven't listened to either one of you guys, he's more of like a Queen Bowie type of music, and you're more of like a punk style.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
So that's going to be interesting to hear.
Yeah, I think so. I think the combination will be interesting. What the thoughts I was getting today when he was playing that riff were, I just had this image of like sort of somebody out in the West, or like in a saloon somewhere, and yeah, it had that kind of vibe to it. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. I think it'll turn out really cool. But yeah, yeah, Jimmy and I are totally different. I sort of didn't see myself as being a punk rocker at first. I was just kind of doing my thing, not really consciously aware of how it sounded. But the more gigs I've done and whatnot, like in my reviews, people refer to it as punk, which I think, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. I think that's pretty cool because I never saw myself in that light, but I'm quite glad that that's the way it's turned out. And yeah, my music is just a true and honest expression a lot of the time about how the way that I feel, as it is with a lot of musicians, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, not a lot of musicians, well, a lot of them back in the day, they don't go into music saying, hey, this is my genre. Yeah. Like I saw an interview with Lemmy of Motorhead, and they're like, you're metal. And he's like, no, I'm rock and roll. He's like, he's like, I started in the 70s. I'm rock and roll.
Yeah, I guess if Lemmy tells you he's rock and roll, then yeah, he is rock and roll. So yeah, you don't disagree with that.
But he's also like by modern standards metal. So I kind of get what you mean by the punk rock thing. You weren't going into it expecting that. You were just writing what you write.
Yeah, that's it. And however it comes out, I don't really have any preconceived ideas of how it's going to turn out. Funnily enough, speaking of sort of heavier rock and metal, a friend of mine called Cullen Gaskell, he's a bass player. And on the few songs that I've released so far, he's played the bass lines, and he comes from a metal kind of background, and it really gives it another dimension that, again, I didn't expect, but I find really cool. So, one of my songs, it's called "You Don't Know Me," and it's found its way into some obscure kind of metal playlists and whatnot. So, again, to me, that's not something that I expected, but yeah, it's cool as hell. Like, because while I'm not really, that's not what I listen to all of the time. I have an appreciation for that kind of music, and yeah, any musician inspires me, really. Anybody that's sort of willing to, yeah, sort of bare their soul, so to speak, and share their music. I just think that's the coolest thing that somebody can do.
Well, I always said that like any genre, any two genres can blend well together if done properly. And the thing is you having a metal bassist isn't that far off because your style is kind of punkish, and punk and metal go hand in hand. There's a lot of metal bands that are very punk. Like Iron Maiden, their early shit was really punk-ish. There was a lot of metal bands that are very punk. So it is actually very fitting that you have a metal bassist.
Yeah, so it's not too far removed. No. And he also I'll be the first to admit I don't really know much about production and whatnot, and he helped me record a live album along with a friend of mine called Rupert. They've actually started a local record label called Yellow Belly Records, based in Lincoln, and the idea is to help local unsigned musicians to have a platform. So yeah, they helped me to record this live album as well. That funnily enough, that's going into an HMV store in Lincoln where I'm based. They're going to take a limited number of copies and put that in the store in the new year. So that's pretty cool because yeah, I didn't expect that. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I'm going to go multi-platinum or anything, but it's still a pretty cool thing that I didn't sort of envisage when I first started playing in front of people.
You might not go platinum, but you at least go aluminum.
Yeah. Work for me.
So is this live album out now or is it coming out?
Yeah, it's you can find it now on yellowbellyrecords.co.uk. You can find it on through my social media and whatnot as well, and just click away until you happen upon the page. But yeah, you can buy it online for, I think it's 10 British sterling, I believe. So I'm not sure what that would be in American. I'll have to do a conversion for the American audience. But yeah, you can find it online. So yeah, I can post the link and whatnot.
If you want to find, we will have all of your links available in the description once this goes live. Yeah. But if you want to find him, you can go to linktr.ee/Ste Walker.
Yeah, thanks for that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's kind of my main sort of website. It's the easiest way to find anything that I've done, really.
So, is your name short for something, or is it actually just Ste?
Yeah, it's short for Stephen with a PH.
Oh, nice.
Steve's just a nickname, but I've always been known as Ste. Yeah, ever since I was a kid. When I was a lot younger, my friends used to call me Steve-O. I don't, for no particular reason, really. I guess it's just easy to say. But I then met a friend called Mark, whose surname was Stevenson, and I thought I'd be the bigger man and let him retain the nickname. So yeah, from that point on, I was just referred to as Ste, and he kept the nickname Steve-O.
That's very interesting because here in the States we have a Steve-O too, but he's a jackass. He's
I grew up watching those guys as well. Yeah, I really used to be in hysterics watching those shows. I used to think, like, I can't believe these guys are getting paid to do this stuff to each other.
And then they release a new movie and we're like, we can't believe they're still alive after all this shit.
Yeah, that's it. It's still going. If you haven't seen the most recent one, I'll have to catch up. But yeah, some of the stuff that they used to do, yeah, I can't believe that they had the gall and the confidence to do some of that stuff. It was hilarious.
Well, the thing is about the new one, the original cast still does some crazy shit. Like, it's really crazy off the wall. But they also have a new cast of people that does stuff too. So, like, I don't know if they're passing the torch to other people or if it's just the last they're ever gonna do.
Yeah, maybe the song. Yeah, that's good to know that they're going to keep the crazy ass traditions going. It's not going to end there. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that.
See,
but I'm not sure I'm not sure where they could go with it next, considering all of the antics that they've got up to already.
you can't really go much worse than that. However, I don't know if you knew this or not, but Jackass actually had there was another show that they weren't really connected to, but they got the idea from, called the Dudesons. And they're in, I forget what country they were from. England somewhere.
No, Finland. The European.
Finland? Okay, they were
Yeah.
European. I thought they were in England, Europe. I forget where exactly.
No, it was
But-
like Finland, I think. Yeah.
But they were crazier than Jackass, bro. One of the guys lost their thumb fist fighting a bear. Like he fist fought a bear, and all that happened was he lost his thumb.
Yeah.
Wow, I'd say he got off pretty lightly.
Right?
It's like most of the stunts in that show is like 10 times extreme than what you see on Jackass.
Yeah, and they
Wow.
actually showed up in a Jackass movie.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah,
I
there's-
had heard of the name, but I've not actually seen it.
Oh, it's crazy. VH1, I don't know if you guys have that where you're at, but they actually showed it on their Jackass was showing on MTV.
Yeah.
Now, the Dudesons did show up in a Jackass movie. I don't know if you saw this one or not, but when they climbed that big ass palm tree and they cut it down, the Dudesons were the other people in the tree.
All right, wow. No, my memory isn't that great, but I'll go back and take a look at that for sure.
Yeah, it's freaking nuts, bro.
I found the live album that you were saying on Yellow Belly Records. It's $10 euro. So I converted it to Australian dollar because that's where I'm from. It's $17 Australian.
Can you convert
you
that
wanna
to
get-
US dollars too?
Yeah,
Okay.
to USD.
So what is your dream
It's
gig?
$11.66.
Okay, $11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So-
Thanks, man.
what-
Because I'm not the best with conversions.
See, the conversion's weird, man. It's like so many pounds in England, and it's euros, and I don't know. I wish the whole world could just agree on money. I just
They'll make
Come
life
on.
a lot more easier.
That's like in America, we have Dollar General, but in England, they have Pound Town or Poundland or whatever. And if you are taken to Pound Town in the US, that means something totally different.
Pound Town.
Like,
What's Pound Town?
Poundland, whatever.
Sounds like a theme park or something.
Sorry, Steve. What are you saying? You
Oh.
cut out, bud.
Trouble connecting.
Oh, you're good. You're good. We're just talking about Poundland. So, are you working on a new album, bro? Well, I think we have a connection problem. Hello? Can you hear me now? I can see you. I know you're there. I'm gonna start acting like I'm gonna start being Pee Wee Herman. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Ha!
Yeah. So this is my bad. I actually forgot today that I was supposed to be in Liverpool. So my plan was to be at my place in Lincoln, where I would have more of a. It's probably my connection that's the problem.
Oh, you're good, bro. We can work through it. And if you want to come back on the show or you missed something you wanted to talk about, we can always bring you back on. I'm just glad to be talking to you finally because we kept rescheduling this.
No, that's cool, man. Yeah, I think. Yeah, we were talking. You mentioned Poundland. I was just going to say, what makes me laugh about Poundland in the UK is that not everything in there is a pound. So I think that kind of defeats the object of their whole marketing strategy. Because yeah, some things in there are like £2. So I don't understand how that works because that's like 100% markup. But yeah,
That's like
kind of crazy novelty that we have here.
what's crazy is we have a store in the States. I don't know if it's all throughout the United States, but at least where I live, it's called Five Below, where everything in the store is $5 and below. But they also have a 5 and up section where things are like 10, 20 bucks. Like kind of a weird marketing strategy, but okay.
Yeah, that really narrows the price down for the consumer.
Right? Like, what the hell? So what is your dream gig? Like, what is the tour, the show that you want to do? What's your dream gig?
That's a good question. I've always had a thing about America, and I'd like to live there someday, and hopefully I will, even if it's only sort of part of the time. Maybe I could end up going between England and America. But I would say I think it'd be quite cool to play in New York. There's something about New York. I went there a few years ago, and it's probably just because I've seen it in movies. And when I got there, it was just really a really cool feeling to see some of these places that I'd seen in films like Home Alone and things like that. But really, any big arena, I'd love to just play to thousands of people. Whether that be in the UK, the US, or anywhere. But the plan in the new year is for Jimmy and I to get a run of shows in America going. So, and I think we'll make that happen as well. I think we're looking at around March time. Mm-hmm. We'll see how things fall, but that's certainly the plan anyway.
That's awesome. I can't wait till you come to the States. If you come anywhere near me, I'm going to go see you. So
yeah, do it, man. Yeah, we'll hook up. We'll go to your equivalent of Poundland and get buy a drink that costs £2.
If anyone's listening to this, all they heard was we're going to go to Poundland, and they're probably like, wait, what's going on?
I guess that's why they've got to go back and watch the whole episode.
Right. So you and Jimmy Maddon are doing shows. For those that are in that area, where all are you guys hitting up? I know you mentioned some places earlier that you're going to, but you got the full tour schedule, or?
We don't have a full-on schedule at the moment. We're just sort of what we're doing is kind of getting a sense of where the best places are to play. So this is kind of like a preliminary run, so to speak. But tonight, the place that we're going to is called, funnily enough, it's called Jimmy's in Liverpool. So I don't know whether that was deliberate on Jimmy's part or not, but yeah, that's where we're playing tonight. And then tomorrow, I'm playing at a place called Bentley's in Lincoln, which is it's where I started performing in front of people. And it's been a while since I played there. I'm actually playing in a full band tomorrow night for the first time live. So that should be really cool. One of my friends. Well, in fact, they're multi-instrumentalists. They can play anything, it seems. My Halo's gone again. Next time I'll try not to be in my car in a random street.
Oh,
somewhere.
Come on, dude. We've had crazier. You're good.
Yeah. So yeah, tomorrow night should be cool as well. But I think next we're planning on going to Newcastle. I think next up to the northeast. But we're basically going to be going to all the main cities in the UK. And it should be really good. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Like I say, I think we're really different, but it's a good combination. And playing like one after the other. I think the plan is we'll take turns at sort of going first, if you like, and then we'll sort of play a set together at the end. So that's kind of how we're going to work it, I think.
So how are you doing your shows now that you don't have a full band? Are you just going acoustic with it, or?
Yeah, up until now, I've been playing acoustically. To be honest,
I think we lost you, bud.
It's more by habit than. Oh, cool. Should be back now, I think.
Okay, you're back. Could you repeat what you said?
Yeah, sure. I was just saying, up to now, I've played acoustically just because it's easy to do that more than anything. But more recently, I've been starting to play my electric live and start to use some effects pedals and stuff and get that distorted kind of sound that I'm going for. Because the songs that I've recorded so far have that kind of quality to it. So I'd like to bring that into my live performances as well. So in the last couple of weeks, I've started introducing that, or maybe a month or so. But yeah, I ideally, and I think this is what will happen, I'll end up sort of being one of these people who has a different guitar for different songs and things like that. I like the idea of experimenting and sort of just kind of seeing where it goes really, and just playing off instinct.
That's awesome. See, whenever you go to a live show, you're not going for the studio sound. You're going to a live show. So I really like when bands change it up live.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, some bands sound the same all the time, and that's equally as cool. But I think it's sort of a good surprise when you sort of turn up expecting to see one thing from a band, and then they just hit you with something else.
What's crazy to me is you mentioned Jimi Hendrix earlier. From what I've heard, Jimi Hendrix would never play the same song the same way live twice. He would always add something new to it.
Yeah, I can gather from what I heard in interviews, he kind of he used to get frustrated because although he came the closest to it, he couldn't always play what he heard in his head. He couldn't always get it onto his guitar. But yeah, there's me just getting by playing a few chords. If that's his frustration, then yeah, I've got a long way to go. But yeah, sorry.
There's a song. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but there's a song you should look up because all you need is 4 chords in music, in most music. And there's this group of guys that are in a band and they wrote a song called the 4 Chord Song. And they're literally singing different genres and stuff using the same 4 chords.
Yeah, I think I might have seen that actually. And yeah, they're just going through a bunch of famous songs that everybody knows that just have the same 4 chords, but they're not even changing the chords, are they? They're just changing the lyrics, I think. I might have seen it.
Yeah, they start off with Don't Stop Believing, and then they go into Forever Young. They go into like a lot of different songs, and they all use the same 4 chord progression.
Yeah. So I'm not the most accomplished guitarist, but I think if I have a strength musically, it might be my lyrics. It's not really for me to say, but yeah, I think that might be because I did a gig in London not so long ago, and the organisers, the way they described it was my guitar playing is like generally simpler, but that brings the lyrics to the forefront. So it's almost as if the guitar playing's kind of a backdrop to the lyrics, really. But I plan on sort of moving forward in my guitar playing because I do have a bit more ability. I just need to apply myself, to be honest. If I'm being really honest.
When it comes to music, if you're a strong lyricist, you don't have to shred. And if you're a great shredding guitarist, you don't need good lyrics. If you have both, then you have both, but you either need one or the other, from what I've seen. And your music is very catchy and very fun, so you've got it going.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Yeah.
Now, if you release a Van Halen type album, I'd be very confused.
Yeah, there's not much chance of that happening. Yeah, Van Halen is one of the greats. Yeah, I've always, there's something about whenever I've been to a gig and seen a live band, I always find myself at the front, just transfixed on firstly what the guitar player's doing, and then and then I kind of end up sort of moving around the different band members, and just to me, there's nothing better than seeing a musician just in their element, in the zone. But then every now and again a mosh pit breaks out, so you you got to keep your wits about you if you're at the front.
Right. Well,
yeah,
the thing is,
I'm kind of like that the same too when I go to gigs, because I'm a guitar player myself as well, and sometimes every time when there's a song that I really wanted to play and learn, I just watch the guitar player. I'm like, what's he playing there? I'm like, what chord is he hitting? Oh shit, I did this wrong.
there were certain guitarists back in the day that wouldn't even face the audience so that they couldn't see what they were playing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a dick move.
Yeah, I guess you probably got to be a sort of next level kind of you probably got to be a phenomenal guitar player to be able to get away with keeping your back to the audience.
Yeah, you'd have
There's a few bands that done that, haven't there?
Yeah, and there's also bands out there that the singer will hide behind the drum set or will wear all black. I'm not going to mention any names. Gorak probably knows who I'm talking about, but there's a band that they'll turn the lights down, just play the music videos, and be wearing all black on stage. And they'll have strobe lights going. And I'm like, you can't see them. How do I know it's even live?
Yeah. I won't have who that is.
Yeah. Gorak over here is like, I wish they'd do that with Motley Crue.
I just noticed your screen name, Pocket Size Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, I've been referred as that.
He's the Filipino Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Australian Filipino.
Yeah, there are definitely worse comparisons to be drawn, that's for sure. Yeah.
I get Weird Al Yankovic. I get freaking the singer of Coheed and Cambria. I get anyone with a beard and curly hair.
Yeah, it's too easy sometimes for people to make these comparisons, isn't it? But
right?
Yeah, I guess the main thing is not to take them personally, I guess.
I laugh at it because I was Weird Al for Halloween one year.
You leaned into the comparison and embraced it.
I love it because I'm a fan of the guy. If I look like him, that's cool. I actually want to interview him dressed up like him. That'd be
awesome. I'm a big fan of Weird Al as well. I remember as a teenager watching he does like a surgeon. He's in Like a Virgin, and he does that Michael Jackson one. Bad. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, instead of Beat It.
And he also did Fat. You were right about that. He also did Fat.
Yeah, that's it. I've got two younger brothers, and we used to be in hysterics watching that. At first, when I first saw it, I was like, is this serious? Or is this a joke or what? And yeah, then I obviously found out who he was and what he was doing.
Did you know he has original music?
I didn't know that actually.
It's all comedy. Good? It's comedy and it's still really good, but he has original music out there. He also has a movie he just released. Did you see the movie he released?
No, what's it about?
It's called Weird, the Al Yankovic story. It's about Weird Al Yankovic, and he's played by what's his name? Daniel Radcliffe, who played Harry Potter.
Oh, cool. I had no idea about that. I've been so consumed with music in recent times that it's like the rest, everything else that's going on in the world doesn't sort of exist anymore. I've totally lost track of everything. But I like films in any case. So, yeah, I'm a big film guy. So I'll definitely watch that now that I know that it's out there, because that'll be really interesting to see that.
It's the best way to describe it is it's about his life.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a Weird Al Yankovic fan, take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But But this movie follows his life, and he's played by Daniel Radcliffe. And the movie starts off, I'm not going to give anything away, but it starts off kind of like it could be his actual life. And then it kind of veers the parody way.
Okay. Yeah.
Like it's kind of like, ever watch UHF?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like a modern version of that, but it's following Weird Al's life.
Right, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a ridiculous, over-exaggerated version of Weird Al's life.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be interested to see that, and also how Daniel Radcliffe portrays it, because I always think of him as being Harry Potter. So to go from Harry Potter to Weird Al Yankovic is quite a different. He's definitely stepping out of his kind of usual role, I would say.
And if you want to get a real good laugh, there's actually cameos of famous actors in this movie. Jack Black is in it. Weird Al himself is in it. Weird Al makes a cameo.
Yeah, that's really cool.
In his own biopic.
He's in his own biopic. He actually plays a producer that tells him he's not going to make it anywhere. That's the only spoiler I'm going to really give.
I want to watch that on my lunch break at work.
It's available in the States on the Roku channel, which is an app you can get on any device. I don't know about where you're at, so you'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I'll find out.
Just download it.
Yeah, that's what everyone does these days.
Well, I will. If it's available for streaming, I'll give it the views. But if it's not, then I'll try to find it somewhere. But I won't download it because there's a blurred line there.
Yeah, as long as it's legal.
See, I download legally. So when are you and Jimmy planning on letting us hear this little song you're working on?
Well, it only came about this morning, so yeah. Sometimes when I get lyrics, they don't always sort of form straight away. I've written songs where they all come out at once, but then sometimes I'll just get sort of an idea, and then other words that kind of rhyme with it, and I need to work with it a bit. So I'll sort of go away maybe tomorrow and over the weekend and see what I come up with, and then we'll reconvene. But the sort of the melody and the riffs there and everything, and I think I kind of came up with a chorus, and I have an idea of a video, even a music video that we could do. Cool. So I would have thought pretty soon. Watch out for it.
You guys should come up with a name and have a super group and open for yourselves, and then come out and do the super group. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, we'll have to. It turns out I'm pretty good, or I think I'm not bad with lyrics and titles for songs. But when it comes to band names, I seem to come unstuck for some reason. I don't know. I really struggle. But I'm sure we can think of something, or maybe we'll stumble across an idea and it just comes to us. That seems to be what happens, I find. So we can be our own support.
I mean, you could go the route of just using your names, like the Maddon Walker Experience, or
that kind of has a ring to it. I was struggling for a name for the band that I'm going to play in tomorrow, and I was thinking of the Ste Walker Experience. But then I also thought of a name, Ste Walker and the Infidels. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that. But I think I'm gonna go with the second one, Ste Walker and the Infidels.
Ste Walker and the Texas Rangers.
Yeah. Funny, I was just saying to Jimmy.
Movie.
I was just saying to Jimmy earlier. There's a show in America called Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. I used to watch it when I was younger.
Same.
Ste Walker and the Texas Rangers would be freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris can do the introduction of the band.
Could be of myself and my music. That could be my Weird Al kind of thing. I could go I could go around parodying myself while also being myself at the same time.
Well, I heard this comedian talking about Weird Al, and he's like, I don't know how I'm going to introduce my kids to Weird Al. I'm not sure if I'm going to tell them that he's a parody artist, or I'm just going to tell them that it's all original music and let them figure it out as they get older. They're like, who's this Michael Jackson? He ripped off Weird Al.
Yeah. I think it'd be really difficult to resist the temptation not to tell them, but I think it would be a better idea to let them find out for themselves. I think that'd be more interesting for them. I remember.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know if you know the show The Office. It kind of started in the UK, and there's a US office as well. But in the UK, when it first came on TV, nobody knew what the hell was going on. They thought it was like a serious documentary about people working in an office, and nobody understood. But when you sort of got to the third episode, you realized it was a comedy mockumentary type thing. But the genius of it was that you didn't know what it was supposed to be about. So yeah, maybe it would be a better idea to leave them to find out for themselves.
And you got to play along with it. Be like, I never even heard of Michael Jackson. What is this blasphemy? So do you prefer the UK office or the US office, or have you even seen the US office?
To be honest, I like them both a lot. I've seen all of the UK series, because there are two series, if I remember rightly, and a Christmas special. And I used to be able to quote it. Like my friends and I back at home, we could just quote it for fun, and we'd have subtle little jokes about it and stuff when we met new people. They wouldn't know what we were laughing about, but we would just be absolutely in hysterics. But I've seen a lot of the US office as well. I remember the very first episode. I believe it might have been the pilot. I might be wrong. It might be one of the first ones. And they have their sort of annual awards, and the company is called Dunder Mifflin. And they refer to their awards as the Dundies. And Steve Carell, I think, is very funny anyway. Yes, and you've got Dwight Schrute, one of the characters. He's hilarious. So yeah, I've seen a lot of the US office. I've lost track of how many seasons there are now, but I think I saw maybe like 6 or 7 of them or something, and then I just kind of, I didn't get bored of it. I just, other things came up kind of thing, but I'll definitely revisit and watch the rest of it.
It actually spawned, I'm trying to see how many seasons, because while you was talking about that, 9 seasons.
Yeah. The trouble is, sometimes these shows can go on a bit too long.
I love The Office though.
Oh yeah, I don't think The Office is one of those shows, but yeah, sometimes it's risky, isn't it? Like I like Terminator 1 and 2, for example, those films.
Mm-hmm.
But like they made Terminator 3, and I don't know, it just wasn't quite the same as 1 or 2, and it kind of almost took the shine off the first 2. And then the 4th one as well, I wasn't really impressed with that. But
see, on this show, we are
the last one that came out was trash.
Yeah. Well,
I said it.
I love Terminator, but much like with Terminator, they do this with horror movies too. Terminator will release a movie that will completely retcon or do away with previous movies. So it has nothing to do with like the last movie that came out. It has more to do with like the second movie. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and it just throws you off completely.
That's like recently, me and Gorak, we reviewed Halloween H2O, which completely did away with anything that happened up until the second one. And then they released a movie a couple movies later that did away with everything up until the first movie. What the hell are you doing?
I've got a confession. Just for you guys. I'm not the greatest with horror movies. I kind of I can deal with the sort of psychological ones where it isn't, all blood and guts and stuff. But yeah, I'm not very good with out and out like horrific. Yeah, just gore. And
see, I'm with you on the gore factor. I can do stabbings and shit, but I can't do like gory.
I find it really difficult to watch them. And once when I was younger, I went on a date to the cinema with this lady friend that I had at the time, and I can't remember which film it was, but it wasn't even that scary, if you know what I mean. It wasn't that scary a film, and I actually I pretended to be asleep so I didn't have to watch it.
Was it just because it was gory?
It wasn't even that gory. It was more, I think it was more in my own head. I thought it was going to be scarier than it was. I'll have to try and remember what it was and let you know. But I don't think it was even all that scary. I just had it in my head that it was going to be really scary. So yeah, sleep pretty much the whole time.
What is your favorite psychological thriller film, since we mentioned that?
Good question. Psychological thrillers. I'm trying to think of one that I might have seen recently. It's not so much a psychological thriller, but I've seen a couple of films that were about being in silence, and it was kind of like these alien creatures that if you made a noise. Sorry?
A Quiet Place?
Yeah, that's one of them. And then there was another one, I think movie. It might have just been called Silence. And it was along a similar vein as A Quiet Place. Yeah. And for some reason I really enjoy watching those. And I also find it interesting to sort of think what it would be like at the end of the world sometimes, and like how would you actually react if you were in a situation like that? What would you actually do? Would you be able to survive, or would you just get taken out?
There's a psychological thriller, my favorite one, and everyone already knows this, but it's weird to tell people, but my favorite psychological thriller is starring Jim Carrey. The Number 23. I don't know if you've seen it.
I think I've heard of it. What's it about again?
Very underrated.
It's very underrated because Jim Carrey's in it, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's not a comedy. We ain't gonna watch it." But Jim Carrey's character receives a book from his girlfriend, wife. I think she's his wife. And the book, he starts reading it, and it starts mirroring his actual life. And he starts becoming really obsessed with the number 23 in this book. And he's trying to find out what it means, why it's mirroring his life, all this shit. And like, I can't really go too into detail what the movie's about without spoiling it, because it's one of those psychological films.
Yeah, sure. I'll definitely watch that. I remember seeing Jim Carrey in a film called Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yes.
But when I first went to see it at the cinema with my friend, we were kind of sort of too young to appreciate what it was at the time. And we weren't there for very long at all. And we kind of walked out. We were like, what the hell is this that we're watching? But like many years later, I watched it again and I understood like the premise of it. And I think sometimes, like obviously Jim Carrey, he's really funny, but I think he's got a lot more to him than just a comedy. And sometimes people don't realize that about like people can be multifaceted and go down different avenues and do many different things.
That's what sucks about being an actor sometimes for these people, because they try to do other films and people are like, we ain't going to watch it because it's not a comedy. Give the man a chance. You'd watch that kind of movie no matter who the actor is, as long as it's not them. That's not fair.
Yeah, I think Matthew McConaughey's a good example of that, because he used to just do rom-coms all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if you saw a show called True Detective, but I love that, and him and Woody Harrelson were in it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they were like this really good combination of sort of different kinds of cops, but it wasn't just about them as cops, it was about them in their personal lives as well. But I think sort of around that time, McConaughey started sort of, he showed that he was a bit more of a serious actor than maybe previously. And he's gone on to do some like really good films after that, like Dallas Buyers Club and things like that. And so, yeah, I think it's proof that you should give people a chance. You shouldn't sort of typecast people.
That's like Robin Williams. They thought he was a comedic actor for the longest time, and then he started doing serious roles. And at first, people were like, "No," but like he proved himself. That's kind of like there's the other side of the coin. There's serious actors that become comedic actors, and it works out.
Yeah, I wonder if that's more difficult in some ways, because to go from not being funny to trying to be funny, that could be. Maybe that would be quite difficult. It's kind of the reverse.
That's like Arnold Schwarzenegger is a prime example.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He started off with like Conan and Terminator and all of that. And then he went on and did Kindergarten Cop and Twins.
Yeah, that's a classic, that film. That takes me.
Now, I will say Twins, the reason why it was such a golden film, nothing against Arnold. He was hilarious. But if he didn't have Danny DeVito in his corner, it probably wouldn't have been as good.
Danny DeVito, I think, is kind of underrated. He kind of sort of flies under the radar, but yeah, he's a hilarious dude.
He was the best penguin.
He was the best penguin. And also, have you watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with him?
Yeah, I've seen a bit of that. Yeah, but yeah,
there's a episode where he's doing acid and he's tripping, and he thinks he's in a toilet, I think, and he's actually standing in a trash can with a gun, freaking out half naked. And they're like, "You need to go." So we are reaching the hour mark, Steve. I know you probably got some sleep you want to catch up on. I know your light keeps shutting off. So I'm going to see, what all do you want to promote? This is your time. This is your floor. If Gorak has any questions, I'll let him talk, since I can't shut the fuck up, I guess. But I'll let you talk.
Cool. Sure. Thanks, guys. Honestly, it's really cool talking to you, and thanks for having me on. If you'd like to check out my music, you can find me through the link that we mentioned earlier that's showing up. linktr.ee/Ste Walker. I post a lot of my stuff on Instagram these days. If you just search Ste Walker Music, that seems to be like a good kind of sort of base to put my stuff out there. I'm on Spotify. If you search for Ste Walker, You Don't Know Me. My light's out again. I'm back. Like Arnold. If you search Ste Walker, You Don't Know Me, even if it's just on Google, you'll find my YouTube, and if you like my stuff, just let me know. And honestly, it's just really cool to be doing my own music and getting out there playing to people. And I think the best thing about it is the social aspect, meeting different people that I wouldn't have otherwise, and traveling to different places. But feel free to check out my music, and thanks again for having me on. It's been really fun talking to you.
No problem, buddy. You are more than welcome to come back on anytime. Hell, you and Jimmy can come on at the same time. We just love talking to people.
Yeah, so I get it. Same, it's great to just get different perspectives on things and have a laugh.
Sorry for interrupting. I just had a thought. I started this show not to interview. It's okay.
Yeah.
I started this show not to interview people. I started this because I wanted to talk to people. And that's where we're kind of different. We'll ask questions about your tour because you need to promote shit. We get that. But I want to talk about Terminator. I want to talk about sci-fi. I want to talk about what you like. I don't want to just talk how'd you come up with your name. Those questions will come up, but that's not the only questions I'm going to ask.
Yeah, sure. No, I totally get that, man. It's good to talk about different things. I can sort of go off on one and talk about the meaning of the universe one moment, but then be talking about, stupid things that I've seen on TV or something the next. So yeah, it's really cool just to chat to people. And I think it's a really good sort of vibe and style, the way that you do things.
Well, whenever we're doing a live show, we do sometimes put in the comments the link to join us. So if we ever do that, anyone that's listening to this, click on it, join us. We love having more people because it's sometimes just me and Gorak talking, and we can feed off each other, but we can only talk about so much. We like other perspectives.
Yeah, sure. I get that, man.
But, buddy, thank you for joining us. Go check out Ste Walker on Spotify, Apple Music. You're on Apple, right? Apple Music. He's on everything.
Yeah, I'm on all of the streaming platforms. Yeah, you can find me.
Just go to that link. Go to that link. And if you are listening on Spotify, you can't see my dumbass finger pointing down. So just go, just go to the link in the description. We said it 3 or 4 times on the show. You got to listen to the whole show to know what we're talking about. But Ste, you're amazing, brother. I love your music from what I've heard. I'll be honest, I've only really heard You Don't Know Me so far, but I love what I've heard. So keep up the awesome work. I can't wait to hear more. That was Ste Walker. And Gorak, is there anything you want to add?
I don't think so. No.
All right. If not, we'll have them back on. We love you guys. And as always, live long, rock hard. And don't